Should you or shouldn't you reconnect in person with your elderly loved one? Today I want to give you a few tips and strategies how to do this successfully and why I think it's important at this time for you to visit in person with your loved one. Today I'd like to start with a story. My sister and my mom gave me a call. I spoke first with my sister. She was wanting to visit my mom, who is elderly, has a heart condition, and definitely is someone that's at risk of grave results if she gets COVID-19. So my sister asked me, she said, I really want to visit Mom. I haven't seen her in months, and I've been so afraid of giving her anything. And she asked for my recommendation on this. Now, before I share with you what I told her to do, I want to tell you that I had also recently heard from my mom just a couple days before that, and of course she and I stay in touch pretty often. She had been sharing with me how down and depressed she had been, that she's not been able to get out. She's not been able to see anyone for months, and she really sounded differently. She is the type of person that usually is upbeat, very happy, a person that usually has the type of personality that will lift others up as well. But this has been different. This has been really hard on her. And, I'm sure this story connects with a lot of you out there that want to be able to see your loved one, but are afraid, so afraid of giving them this illness, this virus, because of what could happen. So I want to tell you, I did encourage my sister to go and see my mom. But I want to talk to you about the recommendations I gave her. Now, I want to say this. This is June 9th, 2020, and I want to make sure that you all realize we need to be following the CDC guidelines. But let's put those in place. Let's talk about what they've been saying, and then let's do that in meeting with our elderly loved one. So, of course, one of the first things that we probably can agree on is that the instructions with COVID-19 have been going back and forth, a little bit confusing, and I think that's what's making us all nervous. First there was talk about maybe not needing a mask, then it went to needing a mask, and then it was that it's contact related, and even most recently they're saying it might not be as much contact related and might not even really be spread very easily if someone isn't actively showing symptoms. But let's just go with that. The main premise of what we need to do is to maintain some type of social distance. That's one thing that we definitely can do, and wear a mask. So let's talk through this. So if you were to go see your elderly loved one, just like I instructed my sister, that when she goes there, to allow my mom to open the door, to really not touch anything, and to attempt to share with your loved one that really you want to be there with them, but you don't want to take any risks. So at this point, you want to not hug, not kiss, not grab hands. But some of you know out there that your loved one will not accept that. They are older. They want to take the risk of hugging you. So I want to give you a couple other ways that maybe you can still allow that to happen, yet keep them as safe as possible. Before you go there, of course, wash your hands and grab maybe a large sweatshirt or some type of shirt that can be put over the clothes that you're wearing currently as you go to your mom's house or your dad's house, your elderly loved one's house. So bring that with in a bag. Have a good mask. For me, I have been able to get my hands on an N95 mask. The one I have looks like this. It's an interesting mask. It does have the N95 listed on it. But the reason I like it a lot is because it's not the most stylish mask, but it does keep my mouth away from the mask because it's pointed out. So even when I breathe in, it doesn't go in towards my mouth and possibly get some respiratory droplets on it. What I've found is that when I've seen people that are using a thinner mask that might press right up against their mouth, at some point it's probably getting saliva on it. And then that person quite often is fiddling with the mask because it's getting too close to their mouth and their nose. And so now they've been touching that mask that was touching their mouth and saliva. So I think that's one of the tricky parts that you have to be aware of. If you can order some of these masks or ask a person that maybe is in the medical community that if they can maybe get one for you, it is the best type that I think you can utilize. So put that mask on before you go in, before your loved one opens that door. Have that shirt on already, so that if they were to just grab you, that they wouldn't be pressing up against possibly an outfit that you've been wearing all day without the mask and coughing or sneezing, and now it's on your shirt. But the other critical thing is have some hand sanitizer in that bag and use that right before your loved one opens that door. Because again, if they grab your hands and hug you, we're trying to eliminate that contact with those respiratory droplets that could possibly transfer COVID-19. So do those steps and then go on in and see if you could sit in a chair that can be easily sanitized. I know that, like I said, as of today, the last few days they've been talking about that it's not as easily transmitted through contact. So I don't think we have to worry about it as much. But if you even had in your bag some type of wipes that, again, once you get up, you can wipe that seat down. Again, try not to touch your loved one as you're leaving. But again, you all know your loved ones better than I do, of course. And for me, mine will probably grab and hug me. She's one of those folks that lives for interaction with others. So this time is really impacting her negatively. So that would be one of my main recommendations. Follow the CDC guidelines, have that mask, have some type of shirt you can put over, which will be a barrier for what you've been wearing currently. Use the hand sanitizer. Try not to touch anything. Keep the 6 feet of distance. But then the other thing is stay as long as you want. Spend the time with them. Make sure you really enjoy that time with them. Another thing is stay on the positive. Focus on the positive, not allowing them to focus on all the negative. Because yes, that is what's been going on. That's been very hard for them. Get them to think about that now you're going to be coming and you're going to be visiting them more often. You're going to use these steps that the CDC has set up and that we're talking through right now to produce a safe environment to interact with them. But visit often. Get out there and see them. They need it. My mom is the type that really would prefer, as sad as this might sound, to not even be here on this earth if she can't be around people. So know your loved one. If they're extroverts, this time, as you're, I'm sure, well aware, is hurting them deeply. So take the time to do these steps and get out there and see them. Obviously, all of this video has been concerning those that are in their own home. I hope that you've held on this video with me, because what I'm going to be doing in my next video is I'm going to be giving you that have loved ones in a community, I'm going to be giving you some tips and pointers as to how to advocate for your loved ones, how to advocate for your loved one and be able to get in there and see them in these communities. They are still on lockdown. They're still not allowing people to come in. And I'm so sorry for that. I'm so sorry for you going through that and your loved one. And I'm going to teach you and give you some points as to how to advocate and some things I think you can do to move this along and be able to get in to see them sooner rather than later. So I am praying for you all, praying for this country that COVID-19 continues to go away, that we don't have another spike and have everything slow down and change again. But let's all be thinking and praying for each other. And I look forward to the next video. Thank you so much. God bless.